what realtors and developers can know about property court matters, right? And how they can avoid them where possible. What you don't understand about real estate is just like what Dr. Davis was saying, most of you are not honest. You will either you oversubscribe or you will overput or you do stuff like that. And lawyers are something real estate you don't know is that real estate is one of the most regulated sector in Nigeria. But the real estate people think that once you've registered it, incorporated it with the CAC, you're now the CEO, and that's all. No, there are compliances, just like what Raymond was saying. There are compliances that you need to have as a real estate person. Most of you don't know, just as we know that a lot of money are funneled through real estate. So EFCC pays so much interest in real estate. So that's where the SCUMO comes into, anti-money laundering laws comes into, even anti-terrorism financing. So I think I'm currently doing a case now where a popular realtor, we started that case 3 years ago. He sold the property to a client of mine who is also, I think, a retired military general. And it was in millions of dollars. Now, what happened is that they oversubscribed it and we paid in dollars because he has to change money to dollars. Now, after the oversubscription, the problem now is, can you please refund us since you don't have this property at hand? Now, because we paid in dollars, and we can blame him on to be being the devil's advocate. He's saying that the value of the amount we paid in dollars 3 years ago is not the same thing. So that's where the back and forth comes in. But what you should understand is there's nothing that gives my imagination than being honest. I conduct due diligence every day, and I meet with real estate people, and I'm always eager to tell my client that this land is not genuine. And you will hear something like the realtor will tell you, okay, we are waiting for CFO, we are waiting for approval. And you understand that there are changes in government, just like the new FCT minister. The former FCT minister made a lot of promises and he didn't deliver. And I think the current FCT minister is revoking past CFOs or stuff like that. So all this is something I'm more of a lawyer that is on the preventive measure instead of dragging ourselves in court and get your account being frozen by the EFCC, having the tax people knocking at your door. Why not do the right thing? The right thing being that before you sell the real estate, at least make sure that everything, all the documents are in check. You have the COO. I think we lawyers will say that the COO is the only authentic document or is the most important document you should have on the property. So that is the best way to, if I start talking about the cases we have in court, land matters or property matters are one of the most lingering matters. You see real estate properties or land transactions that have lingered in court for the past 10 years, for the past 20 years. And once it goes to court, you see accounts being frozen. I've seen big real estate companies crumble because of court cases. Why? Because they did not do their due diligence, they did not do the right thing at the right time. And these things can be prevented. Being prevented in the sense that coming the way of before you sell, do your due diligence, have the right documents. If you know that you're subscribing this, don't oversubscribe if you oversubscribe the form. Because if you don't do that, we lawyers are always there to, in the representation of the interest of our client, to go to court. What is the most difficult property case you've handled? And what lessons can you draw from for realtors and developers? The only significant lessons that I've learned from any case, any real estate this thing is preventive. Some things are too good to be true. Why not take your time, carry out the due diligence, dot all the I's and cross all the T's, go to FCDA, go to Ministry of Urban Planning. There are laws. You can't just come. There are places they call GRS, government reserve areas. That if you are right, there are places that are strictly residential, there are places that are strictly commercial. You cannot, because you feel that this is not a banana republic, unlike most of you might think, that you can just come and erect a structure. It will pull down. I see some people selling some of all these facts and people are subscribing to it for your own good interest. Those places are not to be sold. You can only lease it from the state or from the government. But anybody telling it to you only want to defraud and take your money.
How will you advise the young rectors coming up concerning properties? Because most of the CEOs are actually telling them to market for them, to tell them to sell. But those ones that don't have C of O, that have R of O, will you advise then to still go ahead and do the marketing.
Well, once you have an RFO, that could suffice, because I understand that some state government have taken a break from the issuance of O. So once you have an RFO, that suffice. You can say. And there must be effort to perfect the title. Perfection of title means you have the RFO and you've applied to get the CFO. I have a client that expressed concern that he once bought a property with CFO from a company, and then there was a government official, that had the CFO revoked, and then reassigned them to a different location. So please, what would you say to them? Well, one thing you should understand, according to our Land Use Act, is that government owns on the land. So a government is at liberty to revoke your CFO, and a government is at liberty to take over your property, even if you have the CFO. What the law permits is that you should be paid a commensurate compensation. So a government really can come now and take over your house and tag it for public use. Once they say, because public interest oversees or supersedes personal interest. So I don't know, maybe that case, maybe if you tell me for that, I will have to understand why was the CFO revoked. Some CFO can be revoked, maybe he failed to pay the title or the rate, just like the one that the FCT minister is currently revoking. Some of them have been owing for years. So that could be the reason. If you are giving a land or if you are locating a land, you're expected to pay some I think, per annum. If you don't do that, the government is at liberty to revoke your CFO.